Recon 911, what's the location of the emergency?
Sandy Hook School. I think there's somebody shooting in here. Sandy Hook School.
Okay.
They're still shooting.
5 minutes. That's how long it took for a deranged man with an assault rifle to end the lives of 20 first graders and 6 adults inside Sandy Hook Elementary School.
It's a horrific scene. We've never seen anything like this.
Here's the president.
The majority of those who died today were children. Beautiful little kids between the ages of 5 and 10 years old. They had their entire lives ahead of them. Birthdays, graduations, weddings, kids of their own.
Barack Obama was haunted by the gun violence that pervades America. But gun control was the big bet he did not make.
If you ask me where has been the one area where I feel that I've been most frustrated and most stymied, it is the fact that the United States of America is the one advanced nation on earth in which we do not have sufficient common sense gun safety laws.
He failed to pass any firearms legislation. By the time it became a priority, he simply did not have the political capital.
Well, I think a president has to figure out what priorities he's going to have a chance of getting through, like gun control. He might have felt, if I go for that, then I may lose this, because you're building up capital or you're losing capital.
Let's be honest here, there haven't been the votes in the Congress for gun control. Make no mistake about it.
The midterm election of 2010 had been a disaster for the Democrats.
Some election nights are more fun than others.
They lost the House and the Senate, and with them any chance of getting major legislation passed. Still, when it came to guns, Obama would finally find a way to act without Congress and make the first move on gun control in decades. But now, it could all easily be reversed. President-elect Donald Trump has vowed that there will be no gun restrictions.
A gunman opens fire.
A spray of bullets.
Blocked by the mass killing.
There has been a multiple shooting.
It was early in Obama's presidency when an explosion of gun violence began to hit the headlines. Among the worst shootings, Tucson, Arizona.
6 people are dead, 12 others wounded, including Democratic Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords.
There is nothing I can say that will fill the sudden hole torn in your hearts.
Aurora, Colorado.
12 people killed, 38 injured after a gunman opens fire in a movie theater.
I'd like us to pause in a moment of silence for the victims of this terrible tragedy.
The president was praised for his eulogies, but pilloried for inaction.
Why President Obama? When you campaigned 3 years ago, you campaigned on a promise to try to enact legislation that would ban assault weapons. Again, what changed your mind? Why did you not, during the last 3 years, do anything?
Evil visited this community today.
It wasn't until Newtown that Obama finally acted. Public anger and his own resolve drove him to put his full weight behind gun control legislation.
This is not the first issue, the first incident of horrific gun violence of your 4 years. Where have you been?
Well, here's where I've been, Jake. I've been President of the United States, dealing with the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression, an auto industry on the verge of collapse, 2 wars. I don't think I've been on vacation. And so, I think all of us have to do some reflection on how we prioritize what we do here in Washington.
The president took the unusual step of bringing Newtown parents in to actually work on the bill. The legislation broadened background checks to include gun shows and internet sales. Consider this, at that time, an astonishing 92% of the country, including an overwhelming majority of gun owners, supported background checks on all potential gun buyers.
We did think that would be an easy get because of the simplicity of it and because it wasn't anything new.
But the NRA fought hard.
The only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun.
And the NRA won. In April 2013, the bill came up 5 votes short.
The amendment is not agreed to.
All in all, this was a pretty shameful day for Washington.
It was a defeat that the president took personally.
But instead of supporting this compromise, the gun lobby and its allies willfully lied about the bill.
The failure to be able to do anything, even in the face of that, even in the face of the slaughter of these innocent young kids, was deeply depressing to him.
Barack Obama would have to address mass shootings again and again.
I've had to make statements like this too many times. No other advanced nation endures this kind of violence. This is becoming the norm.
Finally, in January 2016, he announced he was bypassing Congress and taking executive action.
The gun lobby may be holding Congress hostage right now, but they cannot hold America hostage.
The order expanded background checks and narrowed the gun show loophole.
First graders in Newtown, first graders, and from every family who never imagined that their loved one would be taken from our lives by a bullet from a gun. Every time I think about those kids, it gets me mad.
He now has decided he's just going to write laws on his own. He's going to give us edicts as if he's a king. And that is a petulant child. He is refusing to listen to the will of the American people.
And now, even Obama's executive orders are at risk.
I will veto that. I will unsign that so fast. So fast.
President-elect Trump has said there will be no gun restrictions on his watch. It is likely that the bet President Obama did not make will remain off the table for years.
There's no one who's been to more memorial services and comforted more families than the president. And each time he looks at a family who look at him going, you know, why couldn't we have done more? Believe me, that's like a poker in his stomach. And so it eats away at him.